Hello everyone, Son of a Brick Productions back here with another video. Sorry it's been a little bit since my previous videos, but I've been busy with a lot of things. If you will remember, in December I posted something on the community tab of my channel that I'm working on a project in the background, and as you can see here, it is in fact a mock of Umbara. So I decided Umbara because it was the first mock I ever really made about a year ago. It's on my Instagram if you want to check that out, but I decided I would come back and try to make it even better than last time. So here I decided I would write out the plans of what I wanted to do for this mock on this piece of paper here. So as you can see, we have a gray base plate, just one, so 32 by 32. I decided I'd kind of keep it small, just since it's my second try really at building a true good mock that I would really feel good with showing off. I decided to just go with a normal gray base plate. As you can see, for the figs, we would have some 501st clones. This would be like the Clone Wars show, kind of what it's based off of. So we'd have the 501st clones, and then we'd have a few custom Umbarans, which I'm actually really happy with how those came out. I will have a detailed video about those later on. And then you can see the vehicles for some ATRTs, maybe there are, but at this time I didn't really know. This was in December. So the mock is actually complete. It's completely complete. It's done. It's ready to be shown off, but I decided I would kind of take everything by steps just to show how I got to the point of it being finished. So you can see here, my plan was that I was going to make a gray base, like a landing area kind of thing, staging area I like to call it. Basically, this is where the clones set up shop. They get their crates and they get their ATRTs and all that stuff. They have this little spot that's out of the wilderness that they can kind of call home base, or at least it's part of home base, since of course it's only one base plate. So I decided I would just make that 1/4, so the whole entire thing wasn't the Umbaran landscape, which I am very happy with. I think that was a good choice. I put R1 there as rendition 1, just in case this would change. It actually didn't, so I did use the first rendition, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. You can see here, I decided I would put a path in the middle of it. I just did that with some dark gray bricks, which you will see later on. But I decided I would just put a little divide in between the landscape, just so then again, it wouldn't just be all landscape. As you can see in that corner there, that is basically where I was planning the Umbarans to come from. And then there I put Umbaran Wilderness, which that is what basically all of the other parts that aren't marked will be. Right there, those X's are Umbarans. I did choose 3. I chose to make 3 Umbarans, which I think was a pretty good amount for how big or small this mock turned out to be. So there I put attacking, I believe, and that is basically what is happening if you will see when you actually see the mock. So you can see there I have clones, enemies, clones to circles, enemies are the X's, and enemies in this case are Umbarans, obviously. So then I kind of was marking out where I would want all of the clones and where I want the Umbarans. Obviously the Umbarans are going to be attacking from where it says the Umbarans attack, and then the clones are kind of fighting back. And then yeah, battle ensues right there, kind of. That's where all the action is. And then more Umbaran Wilderness right there. So for the most part, I actually stayed pretty close to the ideas that I had for this. Like I said, this rendition 1 was the actual rendition that went through, and it is pretty much on the spot for what it actually looks like. The only thing that changed is the minifigure placement, especially like the ATRTs. But besides that, I mean, it was actually pretty spot on. But yeah, that right there was the battle plan basically of how I wanted to make this mock, and I got right to it. I decided that it would be a good first step using just one gray base plate, and it would be a good first step doing Umbara since I had a lot of black pieces at the time. So you can see here, I actually didn't get a video of me starting this out because there wasn't much to show. I used blue bricks as my base just because that's what I have a lot of. So you can see the X in the bottom right hand corner is where the Umbarans are coming from to attack, and then the blue bricks are actually where the path is going to be, as well as I built up kind of that gray area just to kind of test out how it would look. And then I built some of that landscape. I wanted to make a little hill, which is what I decided to do. Here you can kind of see me starting to continue to fill out the landscape in front of the little staging area there. I decided I didn't want the staging area to be dark gray with those light gray plate like builds I did for the middle of it to make it not look so plain. So I decided to fill out with light gray instead, which looking back I'm very glad I did. That looks way more aesthetically pleasing and it just looks better overall. As you can see, I'm trying to fill out more of that landscape here, trying to make it look a little hilly, trying not to make it look so flat. And then here is actually the path. Like I said, it was all dark gray. I was kind of trying to figure out how I wanted to make the shaping of it. I think the shaping of it's pretty good. It doesn't look completely straight, so it looks more natural. I'm glad I did it like that. And then I actually fill out the entirety of the mock right here. As you can see, like I said, I have a lot of black plates, which is kind of why I wanted to do Umbara to start out with, because I knew I wouldn't have to really get too many pieces. Although I did have to order one thing from Pick-a-Brick. Not one thing, but one order from Pick-a-Brick, which overall isn't too bad. Real quick, I wanted to intervene a little bit here to kind of go over the snot sections of the landing area, or the staging area, whatever you might call it, the gray area on the mock, where basically I spent some time kind of brainstorming and trying to come up with some different designs, and this is what I ended up on for my first time. Basically, if you can kind of picture it, it was supposed to be kind of like an arrow type of thing, arrow with two lights, and then the remainder of the arrow kind of like the back of an arrow, kind of. If you like squint and turn your head a bit, you can see it, but basically that's what I had going for the first time. This is here because I'm planning on doing something with both of those in the actual mock itself, maybe like a gas line or something like that, kind of to make it look more detailed. I think that would look pretty cool if I can kind of figure out how to do it to make it look cool, but I guess that's later on. Yeah, you can kind of see how kind of take it sideways. So I just have normal 2x4s here, and then you can see this is the back of it, and you can kind of see how I had to get creative a bit with the part usage. I would say that the hardest part was this area right here, getting all that down. This falls off a lot, but it's cool how close that actually is, like the connection of it. But then unfortunately for the non-inverted one, it's a little more difficult to get a good gap, so that sucks a bit. Also, like I said, it's quite interesting how I kind of had to finagle all this around, but you kind of see, so this part's the easy part. Then you kind of got all of these bricks right here that kind of all fit into place along here. And basically this is how I was able to put that arrow together. Like I said, there still is a noticeable gap or more than the other one, which is quite annoying, which is basically why I covered it, that and also the gap in the front. But yeah, it was a little difficult. Not the worst thing ever, but definitely a little bit difficult. I'm just gonna say this right now, I did not keep those builds in the mock. I did not like how they looked at all, and that gap was really bothering me. So I just decided to scrap that whole idea, and I basically just did what you'll actually see in the mock when you see it. So I did not keep those, although it was a good try. I'm glad I at least tried, but I did not like how they looked. And I think I could do a better job, maybe if I try it again some other time. Okay, we are at the, I'd say, probably half point of the build, and we got a pretty good amount of it done. We got the whole ground layer completely finished, including the path and the little loading area. Now, there is one thing so far that I don't like about this that I really don't think I can change, and that is that I was trying to do a snot technique for the landing area, staging area. So I got arrows going, kind of, sort of. The only problem is though is that filling in that gap, there's a pretty sizable gap there, and I could try to put plates in there, but it would still look a little odd. So I basically just decided to put plates on top of it like this, which doesn't look terrible, but is just one thing that I wish that I could have maybe fixed, or that I wish I could change, but I don't think I actually can. So I guess that's just something to know for next time. I'll have to go back to their drawing boards for, it's not technique, I guess, but this is probably one of the first times I ever really tried doing anything like that. So I think for the first time it's pretty good. As for the rest of the landscape, I'm really liking the hill over here that I put in. The flat area here looks okay. I want to do something to fill in these gaps, and there's some blue right there I need to fill in, as well as right there I need to fill in, also with these holes, but that'll tie in more to the actual plants, the flora of it. The path too, I want to make, well, with the extra detail and stuff added, the path will look a little more interesting. At least that's the hope. Also, I'll probably add lights across it, like I think there is in the show. Thinking about maybe changing the border of all that, maybe, but I don't think it looks too bad for the most part right now. I'm really happy. I'm glad I did this. I had the idea to make a little foxhole or a little explosion hole, and I think it came out really good actually, and I'm really glad I did it. I'll probably add fire or something there to simulate an explosion. That's the plan, at least. I do need to finish it a little bit, because so far I just have this inverted 2x1 slope that I don't know how that looks exactly. Also, there's a 1x2 with a hole there that I want to try to cover up, but that's not too terrible. We got a flat area here, which would be nice for landscaping, and then we also got kind of a hole over here a little bit that I might try to smoothen out a little bit. It's a little abrupt, but it's not terrible, I don't think. Thank you guys very much for watching this first episode of the Umbara Moc build. Like I said, the mock is completely done, so I will be putting the second part of it up very shortly. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this a day-by-day thing for a week, or if I'm going to do a 1 day a week for how many weeks, I'm not quite sure yet. But as of right now, this is the first part. Like I said, I will be working on all of the rest of the parts, and I will get them out and done as soon as I possibly can. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the support thus far. Hopefully it's worth the wait. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace out.